Hey, it's Eric Skye again, coming at you from sunny, sort of sunny Portland, Oregon, in my living room. The topic today, recording. Not making records, but documenting your progress. Of these 30 things that we're kind of hitting here, this is pretty close to the top. This one's been a huge one for me. I say this almost every episode now, but I guarantee this. I guarantee results for you too if you try this. But it's a tough challenge. It's a hard one. So here's the deal: record some. All is probably too much because remember on the back end, it's going to be a little time consuming to listen to it all. But record a sample of your practice every day or every session that you practice, which I think should be every day. So I'm going to explain how I do it and why I do it, and some of the experiences that I've had doing it. I guess I want to start off by saying don't turn this into a recording project. If you're into home recording and stuff, cool. I will say as a sidebar, be careful of that too. If you're trying to make time, we talked about time sucks. Unless you're really passionate about recording, you're really going to make your own records and you're really good at it. I've seen a lot of people kind of get into home recording and then guess what? You have no time to practice and become a better musician and stuff because you're chasing down 60 cycle hum in your house and stuff. Or trying out your 9th pair of German microphones. That's all cool. And as you can probably tell, I've been down that road myself. But that's not what I'm talking about. So in fact, I'm actually going to suggest the opposite. Let's try to make a crappy sounding recording because you probably grow more from the experience anyway. So I'm going to show you what I use. I use my iPhone, and you could use something similar. On my iPhone, I think it came with something called Voice Memos. This is the most basic recording app. Don't go get some 4-track crazy recording app. I'm not going to use a microphone. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to use this thing. It's just like designed to capture a meeting, I guess. And this is exactly what I do. I sort of, if the camera can see this, I just put it on my knee. Or sometimes I put it on the side of my couch. And then I go through my whole practice thing. Or I decide to sort of capture maybe an hour of it. And I just put it in there. And this automatically puts it in my iTunes playlist, and so then it's on my phone. I can listen back, or I can listen from the app. If you just have an old tape recorder, that's cool too. But the main thing is just make a down and dirty, simple thing. Don't geek about where it's placed. The idea here is that you really, when you're playing, so much of your kind of awareness is about your tone and your time ideally, and then also trying to remember things and all of that you can't also be kind of an objective observer. You can't really always see the big arching thing that like, oh, you kind of always miss that one spot but gloss over it, or you're kind of rushing this thing, or this whole thing is just too long or it's too short. You don't quite see that because you're kind of in some other things. So this is just a great way to kind of step out of yourself a little bit. So for me, what my routine is that I go for a walk every day because I think that I will probably live longer, and that helps my practice That helps my practice too. So every day I try to walk for an hour, and not so coincidentally, I listen to the previous day's hour sample of my recording. I'm sure my neighbors think I'm nuts, but I also use my dictation software that I usually make little comments to myself and email them. So when I get home, I have little comments about what I heard. I don't do it every day, but most of the time I'm doing this, and especially if I'm like working towards something. And the comments range from, this is horrible to this is great to too long, too short, too fast, too slow, rushing, just all the little things. But it's just hugely beneficial. But it's not easy because I think that there's an ego component to this. I mean, I think everybody cringes when they hear the recordings of themselves. I know as a recording artist and a professional musician, it's great when you go through the studio and you use a big gooey tube mic and yummy reverb and a super expensive room and then you hear it back mastered, you're just like, oh, it's a great experience, But that's a larger than life kind of thing. This is exactly the opposite. This is, staring yourself in the mirror of a dressing room, fluorescent lights, But if you're willing to go there and you're willing to just say, oh God, I hate my playing, or I hate the way I sound, and just sort of, acknowledge that, but don't get sucked into it, and just really kind of listen to what's happening performance-wise, you can grow so much from this. I don't even know. I just want to get on my chair and shout it. It's just a huge thing. Composition-wise, it's really helped me. When a number of years ago, I recorded the whole Miles Davis Kind of Blue record on solo guitar. It's called A Different Kind of Blue. You can find it on the internet. But part of that process was, I knew I didn't want to like copy it or whatever. I just wanted to sort of listen to it a lot and then just sort of play my, I guess, impression of it or whatever. So the point is I went in the studio and improvised probably like 70% of it, but I had kind of a framework, I guess. But in order to get that original framework, I would kind of listen to things and write them down. But I remember there was like one particular point where I was in a cabin in the woods as part of a guitar camp, and I was playing So What for the umpteenth time, and as always I had my tape rolling. Well, I guess I'm not sure if it's tape or if it rolls, but whatever happens on that phone, I had it going. And I just remember so clearly the day it all came together, or at least the framework came together. I just happened to be really on that day. You're going to have days like that too. You're going to have days when you're not. But when you're on, if you happen to capture it, that's a pretty cool thing. It's like suddenly that recording became this really important thing. Like when I came home, I kind of like, whoa, what was that? What was that? And ended up writing some of it out and just, I guess you get the idea. But there's been so many times in my life as an arranger, I guess, or composer is probably too strong a word for what I do, but capturing it on a recording like that has allowed me to go back and listen to things objectively and just grow so much from it. So I guess there's not much else I can say. I'm probably already talking in circles, but really your challenge, try recording yourself in a down and dirty way and really going back and listen to it. Not right away, by the way, just really wait that day so you're kind of out of it. Out of whatever it is you're working on. And then jot down ideas, whatever they are. Hopefully all your observations are, this is great, I'm fantastic. But, chances are there's going to be a lot of stuff where you see room for growth, and that's cool. It goes back to everything we've talked about with practice. This is stuff that needs to go on the list. So hopefully that's helpful. Give it a shot.